MTR suspends services on the Tseung Kwan O line due to a power failure. Authorities will revoke aggressive construction's contractor's license over safety record. And police will start issuing electronic penalty tickets for illegal parking and speeding offences from June 15th. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Ju. Suspension of train services on the MTR's Tseung Kwan O line has caused major travel chaos during the busy evening rush hour. A short circuit, which occurred around 5:30 p.m., affected power supply, disrupting train services between North Point and Polam stations. The rail operator is working on urgent repairs to rectify the dire situation, but engineers expect that it will take a while to restore back the power. Free shuttle buses were arranged between Tu Keng Lane to Polam and East Tsim Sha Choi Station to Tseung Kwan O. Shuttle buses are also running between Lohas Park Station and Tseung Kwan O, as that section of the rail line is also affected. Officials have urged commuters to consider using alternative transport routes. The Development Bureau has barred Aggressive Construction Engineer from renewing its registration as a general building contractor following a series of fatal industrial accidents, including a crane collapse in Sao Mau Peng that killed 3 people in 2022. Best One reports.
The company will be removed from the Register of General Building Contractors starting June 20th. Secretary for Development Bernadette Lin said 6 ongoing development projects managed by the firm will be suspended, including 3 public housing projects, a subsidized sale flats project under the Housing Society, and a residential hall project for the University of Hong Kong. The government will seek replacement contractors within 2 months of its removal from the register. As for the government building in Wan Chai, Lin pledged to assign a new contractor as soon as possible, as the work has already fallen behind schedule. Labour sector legislator Kwok Wai Keung called the government's decision delayed justice, citing the company's long history of malpractices and safety violations. Aggressive Construction's engineers' registration originally expired in April 2023. The Development Bureau noted that the company's work sites were involved in fatal accidents in 2020, 2022 and 2023, respectively, resulting in 5 deaths, which led to the prolonged review of its renewal application. Best Lung, Cable News.
The Independent Commission Against Corruption has uncovered alleged corruption at a CK Assets construction site on Anderson Road, with all 6 blocks of the project found to have steel bars that fail to meet standards. While engineering experts believe structural safety remains intact, lawmakers have condemned the malpractice of corner cutting as foolish. Cheryl Yun reports.
Investigations reveal that the reinforcement bars in the concrete of all 6 residential towers were either thinner, missing, displaced, or loosely arranged, deviating from approved plans by an average of 10%. Taking to the airwaves, Edward Chan, former chairman of the Institute of Engineers Structural Division, said the 10% shortfall in steel bars does not compromise overall structural safety. He explained that it is common industry practice to use more steel bars during construction than specified in plans as a buffer. Meanwhile, engineering sector lawmaker Lo Wai Kwok condemned the widespread corner cutting as infuriating and foolish, warning that this case only reveals a fraction of the industry's malpractices. Lo added that excessive subcontracting in construction leads to management issues, stressing that while workloads can be outsourced, responsibilities cannot. The ICAC launched an investigation upon receiving reports after inspections by the Buildings Department found structural flaws in one of the towers last October. 10 suspects, including contractors, consultants, and subcontractors linked to the residential project in Kwun Tong, were arrested in connection with the bribery scandal. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Starting 15th next month, the police will begin issuing traffic violation tickets electronically while introducing a new online payment platform for fines.
From the implementation date, offenders will receive penalty tickets via text message or email. Authorities stressed these notifications would not contain any clickable links. A dedicated payment portal will launch simultaneously, allowing fines to be settled online using just the ticket and vehicle registration numbers. During the transition period, traditional paper tickets will still be issued alongside digital versions. Drivers receiving both only need to pay once. Police say they will monitor the system before deciding when to completely phase out physical tickets. The new system can save about 15 minutes of an officer's time from making detailed record and manually keying in such information. Currently, 65% of vehicle owners and 24% of drivers have registered electronic contact details. Officials anticipate full digital adoption for parking tickets within 1 year.
The mercury has soared to 35 degrees Celsius in some areas today, triggering the fourth very hot weather warning within 6 days. A worker has died from suspected heat stroke yesterday at a work site in Shatin. With the summer season approaching, authorities urged employers to enhance precautions amid heat stress warnings to ensure work safety. Cheryl Yun reports.
The soaring temperature has prompted the Labour Department to issue the amber heat stress warning, as outdoor workers are particularly vulnerable to extreme heat. Last year, the department recorded 30 cases of workplace heat stroke injuries. With rising temperatures, Deputy Commissioner for Labour Vincent Fong urged employers to adhere to official guidelines and adopt appropriate heat prevention measures based on stress levels. Recommended steps include installing shade covers, providing cooling equipment and ventilation, and ensuring adequate rest breaks for workers. To ensure compliance, authorities will also intensify work site inspections during the summer months. Additionally, the Labour Department, in collaboration with the Occupational Safety and Health Council, has launched a subsidy scheme to fund the purchase of protective gear for 12 high-risk industries. Responding to yesterday's fatality, where a worker hired for the Prince of Wales Hospital redevelopment project lost consciousness and later died, Fong noted that initial investigations found the site had complied with heat stroke prevention protocols, including shaded rest areas. However, he said that it is too early to determine the exact cause of death. A thorough investigation will be conducted to prevent similar incidents in the future. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
A 30-year-old suspect has been arrested in Washington, D.C. for killing 2 people who worked for the Israeli embassy in the U.S. capital. Police say the victims, a man and a woman, were gunned down as they were leaving after attending an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum. Sachin Katvi tells us more.
The victims, who have been named as Yaron Lushinsky and Sarah Lynn Milgram, were approached by the gunman as they were leaving the Capitol Jewish Museum in downtown Washington. The alleged shooter has been identified as Chicago native Elias Rodriguez. While the Metropolitan Police Department is leading the investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is looking into ties to potential terrorism or motivation based on bias-based crime or a hate crime. Eyewitness reports stated that the gunman pretended to be a bystander after the shooting and turned himself in once police arrived. He shouted, "Free, free Palestine," once handcuffed, and said he did this for Gaza.
After the shooting, the suspect then entered the museum and was detained by event security. Once in handcuffs, the suspect identified where he discarded the weapon, and that weapon has been recovered, and he implied that he committed the offense.
The shooting has shaken the Jewish community at a time of heightened global tensions, as U.S.-led attempts to broker a ceasefire deal between Israel and Palestinian group Hamas remain unsuccessful, and fighting in the Gaza Strip continues. Sachin Katvi, Cable News.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa hailed his visit to the White House as a great success, despite his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump accusing Ramaphosa of ignoring the killings of white farmers in the country. The South African leader, who was in the U.S. Capitol to discuss trade and investment, was put in a very uncomfortable situation after Trump confronted him with news stories and videos of white South Africans being subjected to persecution and genocide. Sachin Kadvi reports.
Trump followed protocol while welcoming Ramaphosa to the White House.
You're most welcome. Most welcome. Well,
Both leaders praised each other for taking the time to accommodate the meeting, but Ramaphosa was completely stumped with what was to follow.
We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today.
After showing Ramaphosa a video in which a South African lawmaker urged blacks to kill white farmers and grab their land, Trump further shocked Ramaphosa by showing him news articles about the murder of whites in South Africa.
And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land.
Ramaphosa responded by saying that the president would have to listen to the voices of South Africans on the issue.
We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy.
The Trump administration has welcomed white South Africans as refugees to the U.S., saying they face discrimination and violence at home. Ending the meeting, Trump said he will visit South Africa later this year for the G20 summit. Sachin Kadvi, Cable News.
Several European countries have criticized Israel after its military fired warning shots in the West Bank city of Jenin while a diplomatic delegation was visiting the area.
In a statement, the Israel Defense Forces said it regrets the inconvenience caused by the incident. Israeli troops had fired warning shots to ensure the delegation did not enter an area where they were not authorized to be. Representatives from dozens of countries, including Spain, Turkey, France, Ireland, and the UK, were involved. Israeli security forces have been conducting a major operation in Jenin against Palestinian armed groups since the beginning of the year.
Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 283 points. Top active stocks of the day. Xiaomi was down $1.25. Alibaba was down $4. BYD was down $6.40 and Meituan was down $1.30. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, euro 8.85, the Australian dollar 5.02. Onto the weather now. Very hot during the day with a maximum temperature of 33 degrees tomorrow. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms later in the day. Temperatures will drop slightly in the following couple of days. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thank you for watching and good night.